Alright, you guys, you have to know. I feel like somewhere deep inside, you guys already know what I'm going to say, because honestly, luck has not been on my side. What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. I apologize for my appearance. My mom doesn't have air conditioning here and it's definitely super humid. I'm like very tacky and sweaty. My hair doesn't know what to do here. It is used to like nice, comfortable 70-degree temperatures that are set inside of my house. And then usually I go from my air-conditioned house to my air-conditioned car to air-conditioned stores to an air-conditioned job. Like, I really don't have a lot of time where I'm like amongst the hot elements, but here when I come to New York, that is not the case. So yes, we did make it here, but boy, an adventure it's been trying to get here, and like all the things that just kind of happened once we got here. And it's a little frustrating, but we're happy to be here with my mom and spend a little time with her. She's feeling good, which is great, especially since last year we had so many troubles, and everyone is healthy and happy and, you know, excited to see us and stuff. And so we're excited to make the best of what's left of our trip, but we are at pretty much at the halfway point when you guys are seeing this. So I intended on doing like a travel vlog, which I really love to do. Jacob's birthday passed and I really wanted to like get a birthday vlog. I usually do that for all of the kids also, just even for my own memories. I like to go back and watch them, but again, that's not really what happened. So Monday the 18th of July is when we were supposed to be leaving to fly, and our flight was at 1:56 or 1:59, something like that, roughly 2 o'clock, and then we landed here on Long Island at 7. It's only a 4-hour flight, but you lose an hour coming here. So we were 2 to 7 was our originally planned flight. So I like to be at the airport by like noon, 12:30-ish. San Antonio airport is very small and we move through that airport extremely quickly. So I never really stress going to that airport, I must say. Like, if you're ever traveling in this area, I have no complaints ever about San Antonio airport. And so we go there. Now our flight was already delayed an hour, which they let us know ahead of time. I have the JetBlue app, and so as soon as there's any kind of change in flight status, they just send you a push notification and they let you know. So they were only setting it back in 20-minute increments, so it's kind of annoying because I kept getting a message saying like 20 minutes more, 20 minutes more, 20 minutes more. So that was kind of annoying, but for me, I didn't really care because an hour doesn't make too much of a difference, especially since the later the better for traffic, especially when you're flying into JFK, because it's New York City. It's super busy. There's always a ton of traffic there, so the later the better on the receiving end, to kind of make it without it, to avoid it being a super long ride. Because my parents are like 45 minutes to an hour with no traffic. You add traffic and that instantly doubles. So I didn't really mind, and I got time to do extra things at home. And so when we got in there, and I was like struggling with a headache all day. I mean, I get a headache anyways, but I was really struggling with a headache. So every like second extra that we got, I was excited about. So I kept watching, and then we headed to the airport. Everything was fine. We got through. We were like the only person on the security line. We got through TSA in like a minute flat. It was so fast, and we were maybe only 5 or 7 gates down from where we went through TSA. So it was like smooth sailing. I couldn't believe how well like we got through. So we sat in the airport like waiting area for our flight. And I will say that with the rules changing, it's a little weird because most people are just excited for like the pandemic, quote unquote, to be over. So there's no requirement for masks or anything like that inside of the airport. But I also feel like that allows people to like not be mindful anymore. There's still not like no social distancing of any kinds. Like people are just eating and drinking and dropping their tissues and all the things. It's like whatever we just went through didn't actually happen, and that really does bother me. I've mentioned that I don't force my kids to wear a mask, but they feel very comfortable doing it even in the stores and stuff. And as of recently, like the last month or so, I've been incorporating wearing a mask back into the stores and stuff just because the COVID counts were so high. So it was like a little weird to see everybody kind of packed in like sardines. And like we were supposed to board, and nothing's happening back there. Then next thing I know, the lady at the counter, the stewardess like that checks your tickets, she called me and my family up and she said, oh, your seats weren't assigned, but they finally assigned your seats and here are your boarding passes. But I thought that was weird because the app updates you like when there's any kind of change. So I had already gotten like a push notification saying that my seats were assigned and this is where they were sitting, and they had split us up. Like it was me and Mason and then Jacob and Maya, and we weren't even in the same rows. So when they called us up and she was going to hand us the boarding passes, when we first got up there, I do believe it was kind of rude because she ended up speaking to like 4 different people before she even acknowledged me. Even Jacob said, why did she call us up here just to stand here? And I was like, I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. But while we were standing up there, I heard her talking to the captain. Now, I'm assuming this had something to do with gas, but this could be about a million different things. I'm just not exactly sure about what. But the captain turned around to the stewardess, the ticket collector lady, and he said, do you have a walkie? And she said no. And then he said, well, I want you to get one and I'll radio you when we have clearance to board. And she said, everything okay? And he said, we only had enough allotted for 9.5. Because of our delay getting here, we used 5.5. Now remember, my flight was delayed by an hour, and then this was already like 30 minutes into boarding time. So, and the weather on Long Island was atrocious. And if you look up the JetBlue flights from San Antonio to JFK, there's 2 flights that are standard every single day. Like the flight that we're flying home, you leave at 10 o'clock in the morning here at JFK and you land in San Antonio at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And then that same plane reboards, and that's the plane that leaves at 1:56 and then lands back here in JFK at 7. So it's one plane that goes back and forth daily. So he said we were only allotted for 9.5, but it took us 5.5 to get here. If we don't make it back in under 4 hours, we're not making it back. And then she said, okay, so are you gonna go check, I don't speak plain lingo, so I have no idea, the rom-com, the ron-con, I don't even know, some kind of con, rom-con or something. She asked him and he said, yeah, I'm gonna go meet them on board and we'll check that. And if you get a walkie, I'll radio you when it's good. So, like I said, I'm assuming that it was gas or something. I don't really know. But, like, needless to say, an hour after we should have been gone, they canceled our flight. Canceled our flight. I had to call Paul back because Daryl was already at work. Paul dropped us off. I had to call him and tell him to take my van back to the airport. We had to go down to luggage, get all of our checked bags, and they rescheduled our flight for the next morning, Tuesday, July 19th at 10 a.m. So that was annoying because 10 a.m. means back in the airport at 8 a.m., which means leaving at 7:30 my house, which means, you know, getting everybody up at 6:30 or whatever, which I didn't want to be late or miss a flight or anything. And now we were going back home. And like, I just knew the kids were going to start going through their backpacks, taking out iPads and chargers. And like, I was super kind of frustrated because who the heck wants to go all the way to the airport and then get sent home? But whatever, stuff happens. It is what it is. They ended up giving me travel bank credit. This is the letter that they sent me in my email, and then they ended up giving us travel bank credit, which is fine because we travel enough times. I have a wedding that I'm returning to for a family member here on Labor Day weekend, and I still haven't purchased my ticket. So I was like, that's perfect. I'll just use the credit for that, you know? And so then we came, went back home. It was nice. I got to like smooch the dogs and the cat again and my husband and like say hello to everybody. I did a couple of extra things, but I was super sleepy and I knew we were gonna have another long day the next day. So I just went home, I nibbled on something and I went to bed. Tuesday morning, I got up like 4 o'clock in the morning, made sure to get everything repacked, re-snacked, re-everything to get ready for us to get on the airplane. But I had my girlfriend Bonnie picking us up on Monday night because she works like halfway to the airport. So she was just gonna keep going after she got off of work and come and pick us up. Well, the next day, because our flight was at 10 and we were gonna land in New York at 1, I wasn't going to be able to have her because she would be at work. So my brother was off that day and he offered to come and pick us up. So I was like, all right, that's perfect. That's great. But I was trying not to be in contact with my brother because we still were planning on like quarantining from my family until Thursday. So I was already informed, like my kids and everything, when we got in the car with my brother, we were still to keep our masks on and everything because I still wanted to make sure that we were in the clear, and I didn't, you know, want to give anything to my brother to bring home. So he ended up coming and picking us up. Like, we kept our masks on the whole time. Tuesday I was not really feeling well, but nothing like COVID related at that point, just a headache. And you guys know, if you've been following me, I have headaches all of the time. It's part of like the issue with my blood pressure and stuff. And so I don't like to think anything of headaches. It's just like another day in Kira's life. She has a headache, whatever. And so on Tuesday, as soon as I got to my cousin's, it was late at that point because we got off of our flight at, our flight was supposed to land at 3, then it was early. It landed at 2:30, but because we didn't land at 2:30, we got here at 2:30. We were a half hour early, but we had no clearance to land. So we circled in the air for 30 minutes and landed at 3 o'clock anyways. We got our bags. My brother picked us up at 3:30, but then we hit 2 hours worth of traffic, leaving the city at prime time. Awfulness. So 2 hours, bumper to bumper traffic. He gets me to my cousin's house, and as soon as we kind of unpack, I was ready for bed. So she has me and the kids in a nice air-conditioned room. Like, a lot of the houses here don't have central air conditioning because it's really only hot for 2 months out of the year. It's not like living in South Carolina or Texas or something where it's just abnormal to not have central air. And so she had us up in a room with a window unit, which was great because window units still work. They might drive up your electric bill, but they will definitely keep the room good and cool. So the kids and I went into the room, we ate something quickly, and then we all were kind of tired and we all hit the bed. And then we woke up on Wednesday morning, and that's when things started to shift. We woke up on Wednesday morning. Maya looked super pale to me. I kept asking her if she was okay, and she kept saying, yeah, it's a little hot in here though, which I just thought was weird because, like I said, it's pretty cool inside that air-conditioned room. So I ended up taking her temperature and she had a fever. And now, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I honestly and truly believe that what we caught was not from what Maya and Mason were exposed to at school. At that point, we were at 9 days. There's no reason why anything we could have contracted from Texas would have taken 9 days. That's like unheard of, at least for the research that I've done, for something to take that long. I do believe maybe we started to get sick in Texas, but I think that was from Daryl's job, but we'll get to that in just a second. But needless to say, as soon as Maya said she didn't feel good, I was like, all right, this is exactly what I was fearing. Let me give Maya a COVID test. So I took her temperature and she was 102.3. I gave her a COVID test and she was positive for COVID. And I was like, oh my goodness, here we go. And so, like I said, I had already had a headache for a couple of days at this point. And so I took a COVID test and now I was positive. Now, I had been testing us up until we left. Literally the morning that, well, not Tuesday morning, but Monday morning when we were packing to leave on our first flight, everybody got tested and everybody was negative. So it was super frustrating because now here we were at my cousin's house, now testing positive. So that was really, really crappy. Jake was still testing negative. He tested negative this entire time. He never caught it again. Now, he had it in January and none of us caught it. And so maybe he still kind of has like antibodies or immunities or whatever, but he tested negative the whole time. He ended up coming to my mom's a long time ago because as long as he was negative and not carrying anything, my mom said she was fine with him coming here, especially since my parents have an apartment that's above their house. That's where Daryl and I lived when Jake was a baby. My uncle lives up there now. When Daryl and I moved out and got our own apartment out of my parents' house, the very first one, my uncle moved in and he's been living there ever since. So 15 years or whatever, because I think Jake was 3 when Daryl and I moved out of here. So like I said, like 15 years my uncle's been living here. He tested positive for COVID the day my brother came to pick me up. He told me that when we were in the car driving home that uncle had COVID and he tested positive, which by the way, my uncle looks like absolute dog crap. I saw him yesterday for the first time when I came here and he looks like gray, and my uncle was already super skinny and he lost like 16 pounds and he's really, really struggling. Like, COVID's a nasty thing, you guys. But Mason, like I said, he tested positive also. He didn't test positive till the next day though. But Maya was just sick that one day. She ran a really high fever. She had no appetite, just wanted to sleep, very thirsty. So she just drank a ton of water and slept in the bed with me, and she was better by the next day, like fine completely, never showing another symptom again. Mason never really showed a symptom at all. He said his throat was a little scratchy, and that was like one day, and then that like same day he wasn't like bouncing around with his normal energy. He like sat and just watched 3 movies back to back to back. So that was like his one sick day. But me, by the end of Wednesday, I was running a fever. I felt like an elephant was sitting on my chest and my throat started to burn, and I was having trouble like taking a big deep breath in. That only lasted for 2 days though, like the respiratory things like the throat and the chest and everything like that. But by Friday I had lost my taste and smell. I still have not regained it, and I'm really struggling with that because I'm the person who cooks in the house and everything, and the idea of not being able to taste anything as I'm going, like I'm so glad I finished all the recipes for the cookbook because I can't imagine working through them with no taste buds. I've been doing a crap ton of research, and a lot of my family who have already had COVID, like this is the first time, you guys, we've kept it out of our house for almost 2.5 years. Well, Jake got it, you know, 6 months ago, but he was the only one, and then the rest of us stayed clear. And so backtracking, I don't think we got it from those kids at Maya's school, but I think we got it from Daryl's job, because the day after we left I made them test, and both Paul and Daryl tested positive as well. So I think that Daryl brought it home from work, because once he went in and told his job that he had COVID, a lot of the other people who just had like sniffles or mild colds started testing themselves, and 6 people ended up going out with COVID. So I think it came into his job and then he brought it home and he gave it to us. I mean, the incubation period, they say, like, could be around 72 hours. Like, that's what they know right now. So I think that Daryl brought it home our last day with him on Sunday. He like came home early so we can spend the last day with him, and I think that's the day that he brought it home. Because Monday I said I had a mild headache, but I always have a headache. Tuesday the headache was really, really bad, and then by Wednesday we were all sick. So that to me sounds like that would be perfect timing, but you never know. Like, I truly don't know. Who knows? Maybe we were sick from those kids still. I highly doubt it would take 9 days to show itself, but I mean, it's so unpredictable. But I will say this, anybody who says, like, if there are people out there who still say like COVID isn't real or any of that, like, I feel like that you either haven't had it or you haven't had like a bad case of it. I definitely feel like I had a bad case of it. I didn't really get out of bed for like a solid 2 days, maybe 3. Maya was amazing, especially being at my cousin's house and like being trapped in a room. She was just so incredibly helpful, like whatever we needed or whenever she needed to like leave the room. Like, she was just so smart. I mean, my daughter's only 6 and she would like put gloves on and a mask on. She was like Lysoling things and wiping things down. Like, I was literally so impressed with her. I literally don't even know who she is. Like, she's so amazing. Like, she's just so amazing. But she was such just a great help. She really took care of me. She didn't have to worry about taking care of Mason, but she really, really, really like took care of me. And the bigger thing about all of this is that I'm not testing positive anymore. I made sure to test yesterday or the day before, so that I can prepare to finally come to my mom's. I mean, this poor woman was counting down the days, and then our flight got canceled, and then, you know, I had to tell her that we were not going to stay here for a couple of extra days to make sure that we were good. And then we ended up getting it, and I was already worried now that, you know, they were wiping down doorknobs and surfaces and stuff because my uncle upstairs had it. So now I was already like just concerned and stuff, and so I made sure to test, and I'm testing negative now, which is great, but I have a lot of lingering symptoms. So I'm not contagious anymore, which is great. Nobody is at this point. Like, that's why we waited so long now to come here, because now you guys are seeing this in live time. Like, I did my what's for dinner at my cousin's yesterday, and then I prepared myself and said, like, hopefully I would be able to pull this video together for you guys today to let you know that I was, you know, what was going on. And so we came here late last night, and this is, you know, my first like morning here. So you guys are seeing this pretty much in live time. So I'm out of my, you know, I made sure to wait my full 10 days, but now we're a week and a half through our trip, because we were coming here for 3 weeks, and that's because a week goes to my mother-in-law as well. And so we try to split time between everybody, but I lost a whole week and a half of my trip now because of this. I was planning on pushing my trip back anyways, because I was waiting to see if I was in the clear, and I'm kind of glad that I never paid that $700 to move my flight, because I was going to move my flight to Thursday. I would have tested positive and we would have been sick already, and I wouldn't have traveled, and so I wouldn't even be here right now at all. Like, I probably would have had to cancel this entire trip. So I'm glad that we came when we came, because we were able to just kind of like bunker down and make the best of it. But I am really struggling, you guys. And that's why I said, like, for those who might not really believe that COVID's like a bad thing, I feel like you didn't like have a bad case, I guess, because I can't get rid of the congestion in my nose. I'm not like congested, but I don't sound like myself. I feel like my nose is either running or it's stuffed. I definitely have like residual phlegm in my throat, and I can't taste and smell, and I have zero energy. I have so many videos I could have edited while I was just waiting in the room, and I didn't. I played bingo instead. I played Bingo Rush, I played Bingo Blitz, and I played bingo in the room or read a book. Like, I have no energy. Tomorrow is Jacob's graduation party, and I have to go shopping today. I haven't been able to go shopping because I wanted to make sure that I was not contagious and anything anymore. My mom and my dad still didn't catch anything, especially with them up there, and my brother never caught anything. His girlfriend has had COVID, but both my brother and my parents have never had it. We had a whole bunch of family members here Christmas time that had it, like when we were supposed to come in January. That's why we postponed our trip in January, because half of my family here had it. Not in this house, but my brother's girlfriend, along with all of my other friends and family that didn't live here. So that's why we pushed our trip back, because I wouldn't have been able to see anybody. And I didn't want, who knew if my brother's girlfriend had it and she lived in the house. She lives in the house with my family. So once she got it, she went home to her house to stay away from everybody here, and she quarantined herself to like her old bedroom. But I had no idea if my parents were going to end up getting it or my brother. So that's why we didn't come in January and we postponed our trip. They never ended up getting it, but I'm so grateful that we went through this whole big thing and they, you know, are in the clear, and they never got it. And like I said, we're not contagious anymore. So I have to go out today and get my butt in gear and get a grocery haul together. I haven't gone grocery shopping in weeks. I feel like completely not myself. It feels weird to even turn on the camera because this is the first time that I'm doing that. Yesterday was the first time I turned my computer on since I had been here. I just gonna feel completely disconnected from the world, and it's driving me crazy that I can't taste and smell. I'm obsessed. I've called my mother every single day. I'm like, hi, status update, you know, day 7, still can't taste anything, because it's like, it's the weirdest and most bizarre thing. I've had post-nasal drip in my life growing up all of the time. Whenever I got sick as a child, I always got post-nasal drip, and I could never taste or smell while I was sick. But then once I wasn't sick anymore, then like my taste and smell came back. But I'm not sick anymore. Like, I'm not contagious. COVID itself is gone. But it's like the lingering effects that it leaves on you that is crazy to me. Like, I'm waiting for my energy to return, but I could sleep all day. I don't have any desire to do anything, which is really awful, because now my mom feels like she lost a bunch of time. So she's like, all right, well, once the party is over on Saturday, like, what do you want to do? Like, my dad already scheduled us to go fishing on Sunday. My mom's like, oh, okay, well, on Monday, want to go, like, take the kids to do mini golf? Do you want to go to the movies? Like, she's trying to make up for all of this lost time, and the idea of doing any of it, like, all I want to do is go to bed. So I'm kind of hoping I shake that. I've been taking tons of vitamins and everything, and I still like I have to pull a party together for my family, like 30 people that's gonna be here tomorrow, and I haven't bought a thing. Just like the paper plates and stuff you guys have already seen from the Dollar Tree. Oh my god, I haven't even looked up here, and you guys have been staring at this hot mess the whole time. I am so sorry. I am not, like I said, I'm not myself. Like, I like just feel in a funk. It's like a COVID funk. I know they call it like the COVID fog. It's so true. Like, I'm foggy up there. My perception is off. Like, for the first couple of days I had vertigo really bad. That went away. But just still, like, I feel lost and stuff. So I have a lot of time to make up to my family, to you guys, to myself, because I love the vlogs. They're my favorite thing. I've said that a million times. I love doing travel vlogs. I love doing vlogs when I come here to New York, because I go back and I watch all of those memories and everything, and I literally haven't turned the camera on one time. And so I'm kind of looking forward to catching up. So hopefully you guys have a bunch of content coming to you. I'm not really sure. I know I'll be able to put this out today, and then tomorrow I should be able to put out the grocery haul from today, and then hopefully maybe on Sunday when I get home from fishing I can edit the meal prep video, and then maybe by Monday I'll give you guys like a vlog, like Jake's graduation party and fishing. Like, I'll put those two together, and then hopefully I can catch something for the rest of the time that we're here. But we're definitely just kind of getting back into the swing of things. My kids are so excited they get to swim in the pool today and stuff. So we have a lot of, like I said, making up to do. But I wanted to inform you guys. I told you to follow me on Instagram and all the things, and then I haven't posted or done anything because I've literally just not felt myself. So now we're gonna go and try and give ourselves a second chance, well, a third chance, I guess. This whole trip was already our second chance from last summer, and then already like we hit a big snafu, so now it's like our third run at trying to have an enjoyable vacation. So hopefully we can pull that together for the rest of the time, and hopefully you guys will come along with us for whatever it is that we can take you to. But thank you so much for your patience, and so many of you who reach out and say, hey, did you go to Long Island? Did you make it? Are you okay? What happened? Where are you? And you guys are incredible for checking up on me, because that means that you're thinking of me when you don't see me, and I really appreciate that, because it's nice to know that, you know, someone else is thinking of me that lives on the other side of the world. Like, that's really, really awesome. So we're all on the mend and no longer contagious, and now going to do the best that we can to enjoy what is left of our vacation. So again, you guys, thank you so much for caring and checking up with us. Stay tuned. I will do my best to bring you guys content as much as I can, and I know you guys are always so patient with me. So thank you for everything. We love you so, so much, and we will see you guys hopefully in another video. Bye, guys.